Solopreneurs, what should you do if you have a fantastic idea? It's Thursday, July 6th, and that's what we're going to talk about today in episode 554. So, it is International Kissing Day on this Thursday, July the 6th, 2023, and it's also International Take Your Web Designer to Lunch Day, because I know that's what you guys had on your calendar. And feel free to DM me or contact me if you want to take me out to lunch. So, if you haven't heard the news, in the last couple of days, good old Zuckerberg has put together a Twitter competition, which he is calling Threads. And the verdict's out. I recommend small business owners that you sign up for it so you get your vanity URL and at least have a presence. Will Zuckerberg really put a dent into Elon's Twitter? I don't know. I can say if anybody could do it, he certainly has enough power and interest behind him to do so. I'm kind of in the wait and see mode, but as a business owner, you definitely want that vanity URL. So to the answer of my question, I've been on a little bit of vacation, but I'm back, and a lot of users have contacted me and says, "Hey, what about your 333?" Well, I think this week we're going to focus on solopreneurs. For those of you that don't know, as a web designer, I have about 700 clients, and most of them are solopreneurs. Big fan of solopreneurs. I think you should have some sort of side hustle that you do that generates a little bit of money that maybe you do a couple evenings or on the weekends. And a solopreneur mindset is the way to start out. And as a web developer, I see a lot of them. But one thing we need to do, solopreneurs, is you need to evaluate your great idea. I really, really want you to do your research. Business tip number one is make sure there's good interest in whatever it is. You create this wonderful little widget, talk to your friends and family, ask them would they buy it. Make sure that there's enough interest there. And then ask some total strangers about an idea whether they'd buy it. And check it out. See if the interest level is really, really high. Business tip number two, go buy some competition. Do some Google searches. If it's a physical product, go buy some of it from your competition. See how it gets delivered. See how it's packaged. See what you think of it. Check out the competition. Examine the product very, very closely. And then, business tip number three, think about the margin. Oh, I can have this made in China. I'm going to make about $2 for it. See if there's enough margin there for it to justify you going into that business. As a web designer, I see so many people spend a ton of money, not necessarily on their website, but on coming up with a business, coming up with a product, only to make this much margin with only this much interest. I don't shop a lot, but around Christmas time, I go to the malls, and you have your big malls, and then you have those little kiosks in the center. Cost probably a couple $1,000s to get a kiosk, and I see a kiosk for iPhone cases. So I'm sitting there thinking, this guy is spending about $2,000 a month. He's employing one or two people to sell an iPhone case, and I'm thinking his margin must be what, $1, maybe $2 tops. So I've sat there and looked at him and watched him for about an hour and thinking he's making about a sale an hour. Is this really a good business model to be spending that kind of money to make a couple bucks on a product that most people already have? Again, that's the example that I give you in regards to your big idea, is that you check it out. Will it fly? And speaking of will it fly, I have an expert advisor that I think you should go buy a book. Pat Flynn has a great book called Will It Fly? This book really outlines what you need to know to test out your idea before you go spend a ton of money and time. If you do have a great idea, of course, web designers like me can help you out. But I want you to save your money on and really think through your next big idea, solopreneurs. That's what I'm learning today. Anything I learned, I throw over the fence to you because I want you to be extremely successful. Now go back to sleep.